Hey all, this is Colonel K1. I'm an Infinite Arena player and I've been playing Arena since the closed beta. In this video, I'll be teaching you all how to draft like a pro without help from drafting websites or programs. So just to show some credibility, here are my number of wins in Arena. And also all of these packs down here, they've been earned from Arena exclusively. I've been saving them for quite a while. And all this gold here is also from Arena. And another reason why I'm showing you all this is to encourage those of you who find Arena a little bit intimidating to keep on practicing, because you'll just get better and better with every run, and the rewards are definitely worth it, as you can see here. So enough of that, let's get right into the draft. So here's a Druid draft. I'm just gonna quickly walk you through it. This is on my EU account. Often in Arena, you just want to pick the best card early on, and then later on, you worry about filling your curve. Your curve should look like a downward slope. Lots of 1, 2, and 3s, and then less of 5, 6, and 7s, but still some, so you have value. The three things in Arena you should keep in mind when you draft. It's early game cards, card draw, and value cards. Card draw and value cards kind of interchange because they have similar effects. Card draw cards give you card advantage, and value cards also give you card advantage, except typically through the board or through a spell like Flame Strike. Anyways, let's get started. First here, you want to pick, it's between Defender of Argus and Lights Champion. I think Defender of Argus is a better card, even though Lights Champion is basically a 4/3 for 3 mana, which isn't bad in Arena. But Defender is a good card, so we're going to pick it here. Here it's between Jewel Scarab and Power of the Wild. When you think of Jewel Scarab, okay, does Druid have good class cards for 3 mana? Mounted Raptor, I forgot, one of the Druids that's either a 2/5 or 5/2. You all probably know what I'm talking about. Just forgot the name. What else? Healing Touch is 3 mana mulch. So you could get a good card from this, but I think I'd rather take the 3/2, just 3/2 for 2 mana, and it has the potential for another effect. +1 to all my minions. Loot Hoarder or Robocop. I think Robocop is stronger. This is the card I was saying about, Druid the Flame. It's a pretty good 3 mana card. Although Farseer is a good card, I like this card a little bit better. So we're going to take that. Also, it's a beast if that ends up mattering. Haunted Creeper is a really good 2-drop. So these are all terrible cards. When you're offered terrible cards, what you want to do is just pick the best card out of the 3, even though it sucks. And I would have taken the 2, even though I don't like it, because it's easily pingable. I guess I'll take the heal bot since we already have 2s. Moonfire, don't really want to consider. Okay, a bunch of 3-drops, so that's good. We got 3s. It's between Crusader and Harvest Golem. Dancing Swords, Death Rattle effect is really bad. It's not, drawing a card is not worth 4/4 stats. So I think Crusader and Harvest Golem are both strong. I like Crusader a little bit more, especially with Argus. I'm gonna take Crusader. I like Raven Idol. This is an underrated card. I think it's pretty good. Oftentimes you can spare 1 mana. You only want to use this when you have nothing better to do. When you can leak 1 mana, you fill it in with this card, or on turn 1. Loot Hoarder's okay, but we have some 2-drops. We're going to take Raven Idol. Another Loot Hoarder. I think this is the 3rd one I was offered. We don't have any 5s. Well, we have Heal Bot. I don't really count that. Commander's not terrible. We'll take that card here. This is a really good 2-drop. We're not going to even think about that. Actually, all 3 cards are decent. We have 2 mechs for the Clockwork Knight, but that's my least favorite here because we already have 2 5s. Boulder Fist is just a solid card, 6 mana, 6/7. We could take Druid of the Flame, but we do have 2 3-drops. Let's just pick Boulder Fist because it's just a high value card. Innervate is really good and constructed. It is not bad in Arena, but it's bad when you top deck and you're out of cards. It's really good early game. I think I'd rather take just a Raptor. The reason I took Raptor there is because we don't have too many late game cards. Innervate is good with like 4-drops or 6-drops, 5/6. We don't have too many ones that we want to innervate out right now. Nothing really except the Ogre that you want to get out early. So you could get out Argus, but you need cards on the board. So Mad Bomber here. Lots of 2s. We're going to try and avoid taking 2s. So we have to pick a 1-drop. Let's take Voodoo Doctor. I think this has the best potential out of all of them. I don't care. If I was going to say it's between these 2, I would always pick the Gold Shire Footman because health is more valuable in Arena. This just doesn't die to a hero power. This one does. So you don't feel terrible about playing this on turn 1 by itself. You kind of do with tournament attendee. If they have no turn 2 play and it's, you know, Rogue or Mage, which are insanely popular, they can just kill it off. So Voodoo Doctor at least gains some value in the health, because you can restore the health of a minion. We're just gonna take. I mean, this card is worse than Ironbark. We'll just take the good 3-drop here. Okay, well, this is not as good as Drew the Flame. So here we can consider Devil Sword because we have a bunch of 2s. Let's see how many beasts we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beasts. Is that no? Yeah, 4 beasts. Actually, 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, and then 2 Druid of the Flame. So we have 5 beasts. I mean, obviously you'd rather have Ironbark. It's just strictly better, pretty much. But we'll take it here because we're kind of lacking late game. So it's between Squire and Raging Morgan. Tinkertown is good only with Cub, but it's our only mech, I believe. I don't really count Healbot because it's expensive. So I like Squire. I think it's a pretty good card. You don't feel bad about playing this on turn 1 because you can always buff it. Okay, so Drew the Fang is definitely a consideration because we have 5 beasts. However, we don't have a real 4-drop. I mean, what I mean by real is a 4-drop that you can play standalone. So, although I really like Drew the Fang here, it works in this deck. Since we already have some 5s, no real 4-drop, we're going to have to go with the Tall Strider here. So, typically, rule of thumb in Arena is your first Kraken, it's like Flame Strike. You almost always pick it. Unless, here's the unless, you're specifically going for an aggro strategy in which you're trying to close the game before turn 9, which makes this card irrelevant. If you think your game is gonna end before turn 9, say you draft an aggressive like Zulok or Face Hunter in Arena, then I mean even then I'd still consider this card. It's just that good. Why I'm praising this card so much is because oftentimes when you play it on turn 9, it gets a kill. So it already killed one thing. Then you have a huge body, a 9/7 on the board. And that often trades into 2 things. And even if it gets removed, like say through Polymorph, Fireball, Assassinate, something like that, it's still killed something because of its battle cry. That's why this card is just so good. One of the best neutrals value-wise in Arena. So we're going to take that here. Savagery is garbage. It's between Matter Bomber and Questing. We have 3 3-drops. This doesn't really count as a real 3-drop because it's a 2/2 standalone. You need to combo this with cards, and often you can only do that on 4, 5, 6 mana, etc. Matter Bomber is a decent card. It's good when you're behind on the board. Although this deck has a good early game, so I don't think we're going to be behind, but in case we are, it is a good card. Also, we don't have a good 5-drop stats-wise, and yes, this is okay for its stats. It's a tough call here. It depends on which card gives me more value. They both can potentially give this deck value. I can play Questing Adventure with like a 1-drop and get it to a 3/3. This is a good card. I would probably pick Bomber here, but we have a lot of like early game stuff. If I go into turn 5, I won't want to play this if I have the lead on the board. And with this deck, I might have the lead on the board. It's a hard choice. I think Bomber is a better card, but I'm really tempted to take Questing Adventure. I'm going to take Questing Adventure here, just because of the way our deck looks. So Starfire is a really good card. It's a good spell. 5 damage, draw a card. Remember what I said in the earlier that card draw is one of the things that your every deck needs a little bit of at least. So, and this is a good spell. 5 damage, 6 mana. We'll take it. Lots of beasts. Think this is a no-brainer here. Frostwolf Warlord. We're not a Paladin or a Shaman, which is the 2 classes that I love this card in. Still, it's not a terrible card. Synergize with Haunted Creeper, and if we have board control. Harvest Golem is just a good solid 3. We have 1, 2, 3 real 3-drops. I don't count this as a 3-drop, so I guess we'll just take Harvest Golem. Make our curve look a little bit better. Here we can pick Druid of the Fang, or Mounted Raptor. Mounted Raptor is a really good 3. We have 4 3s right now, 4 real 3s. And no real 5-drops. I guess we'll take Fang here. I wouldn't take this, but we do have a decent amount of beasts. Let me just count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tall Strider got added in. 6 beasts. Yeah, we'll take it. There's a good chance to become a 7/7. So I'm not a fan of any of these cards. Venture Code Mercenary is a good card if you have lots of spells in your deck. And currently we have 1, 2, and 3, I believe. So with 3 spells, I could play this on 5, Starfire on 6, but Torn Warrior is just a garbage card. So Volcanic Drake is not that great either, but it's not terrible. If you just trade a minion for a minion, it becomes a 4 mana card, and a 4 mana 6/4 is respectable. I think we'll go with the Drake here. Wrath is a good spell. Always nice to have Wraths and Swipes in the Druid deck. Definitely going to take Wrath here. So Death Rattles, I mean, I could count them. Looks just glancing through it quickly. We have a couple, but I don't think it's good enough. I'd rather just get a solid 5-drop. This is the better 5-drop. I'm going to take that. And is this our last card? No. Third to last. We're not left with a choice here. Both of these cards are terrible. Although I have seen a Druid use Mark of the Wild with Eerie Statue, and it's pretty disgusting. I had to leave it on the board for like 4 turns, so I couldn't deal with the 9/9. Anyways, we'll take Fine Size simply because we have no choice. Ogre Brute here. Savage Roar is a good card in Constructed, can be okay in Arena, but it's like a win more card. This is just a solid 3 on its own. This is like one of my favorite 3 neutrals. Like, it can screw you over because of the 50% chance, but it's a 4/4 for 3 mana. And unlike Dancing Swords, which we saw earlier, this doesn't give your opponent a card when it dies, which I rather have it miss half of the time than give them a card if it dies. So definitely Ogre Brute. And last card between Argus, Cobra, and Moonkin. Moonkin doesn't benefit us too much. We have 2 spells, and it's just a poor 4 mana card because of the stats, and it can help our opponents. Cobra is a beast. It has a good effect. Helps our 2 beast cards, Druid of the Fang and Delvasaur. Mostly Druid of the Fang. But Argus, we are lacking 4-drops. We have 1, 2, 3 4-drops. Although we are repeating Argus, like I said, if we have the early game board control, we are likely to get at least Argus off on 1 target. Normally obviously you want 2 targets, that's the best value, but since we're lacking 4s, we're going to take Argus to finish off this draft. So let me just quickly go through the draft, see if we got the 3 things I touched on. Early game, we have a good amount of early game, 2 1-drops, bunch of 2s and 3s. And 3-drops, we have a bunch of 3s as well. Then the second thing I mentioned is card draw. We have Starfire, draw a card. Wrath can cycle, draw a card. Raven Idol is can give you a high value card, so it's kind of like drawing a card, give a spell as well. So we have a couple of card draw, and then lastly we have value. North Sea Kraken, Fossilized Delvasaur, all creatures that usually get 2 kills. Or you take out 2 cards from the opponent. Can take out 1 if they insta-kill it with Polymorph or another big creature. Boulder Fist Ogre is another value card. So this is pretty much how you want to draft. What would I rate this deck? I think it's a very decent deck. Definitely can get, I think 10 wins is reasonable. Of course, it comes down to a little bit of luck and a lot of skill, like how you play the deck, of course, how you play Arena in general. But the deck is not bad by any means. It's not amazing. I've seen better Druid decks. I would say it's amazing if I had 1 card. That the card is Swipe. Swipe is really, really just disgusting. Oftentimes, it's kind of a joke, but like the way Druid goes is the more swipes you have, the more wins you get. But it's true.